Hello everyone and welcome back for round 2 on this channel. I am the one and only Marcel from Michelle and I will be your host for today. Tell me, did you ever play a game that had a concept that was just so juicy, but the execution was so lackluster that it made you consider staying in school and learning instead of using the computer? In case you haven't, I'm glad your infant little mind is still protected, but if you have, don't worry, I've been there too. Which is why our topic for today is games that have amazing concepts, but their execution is about as entertaining as a marathon of watching paint dry. No offense to the devs, I know some are probably really young or new, trying to publish their work. Don't get me wrong, I have no issues with that. In fact, when I see a bad game made with passion by someone who's just starting, I genuinely feel happy and I know they will go far. But that story changes when your fighting system is the equivalent of Roblox's sword fighting system, but 10 times worse, and then you ask me to pay real money to get a second chance at keeping all my progress. Weirdly enough, there will be a reoccurring theme throughout this video, so brace yourselves, we are in for a ride. So join me in this expedition of Roblox dumpster diving and enjoy the sights of what could have been. Our first offender has us finding ourselves in the Wild Wild West, now become Wild Deluxe Edition since there is a zombie outbreak in here in the middle of nowhere. No matter though, because we have our trusty train to tear through the tides of these tyrants. The game first starts out with you and your train in the safety of the walls of this little town. You are then taught how to pick up things, either dragging them around or stashing them in your sack. Every interactable object has a bunch of attributes such as fuel, junk, valuable, and corpse. These attributes decide what you can do with items. The coal at the start is only fuel, so all we can do is burn it. The more items you burn, the more fuel the train gets, so the point of the game is to ride your train to not so abandoned houses who look as if I tried to fix my upload schedule in there, loot them, and decide what you want to do with your findings. Either keeping them for later or using them as fuel right now. Good luck if you try to keep them though, because your wagon really dislikes being touched, and therefore any touch from anything will cause it to spaz out and all of your things will slide off, resulting in you needing to stop the train, pick them all back up, say a prayer to calm your wagon, and carry on your journey. No, you're not gonna fall for it. Oh my god. Okay, good. No. No, it's all falling apart. Come on. Oh my god, this is so annoying. As you drive ahead with your neck locked looking forward because the game uses the default Roblox vehicle system, you can notice there's more than zombies out here. You can see cows of wild horses who don't really do anything apart from run away in a straight line, and outlaws riding their horses. After several stops, the time inevitably passes and night arrives. If Minecraft taught us anything, is that trouble is coming. There's no shot, he's still coming. Stop coming! Well, what else can I do apart from go to this? What the f? My intuition was right and goddamn Dracula appears out of nowhere. I thought it was a zombie apocalypse, the hell is he doing out here? As immortal as a vampire may be, he is no match for the sharp bits of my pickaxe and he joins my corpse collection. Before long, after defeating Dracula's siblings Bladula and Batula, the sun rises and we're a bit safer once more. I start to find the runner zombies who genuinely have no counter because I didn't get enough ammo for my guns and I'm forced to melee, which gets me killed since the combat system might as well be non-existent. But don't worry, I can pay for a revive, and that's where I quit. Alright, I really love the concept of this game. A train avoiding zombies in the Wild West seems cool, yet the execution is so bad that it makes me happy I'm a European. First of all, the melee combat is so bad. Yeah, I get that you can stun enemies. Yeah, I get the game is in alpha, and yeah, you can probably kill slow enemies without getting hit, but I really doubt they plan to change it that much when it gets out of alpha. Also, what game on Roblox do you know that's not in alpha nowadays? And good luck taking no damage when the game spams runner zombies at night whose hits can't be avoided. You can't even camp on your train since they climb on it and kill you, and if you drive all night long, your fuel is as good as gone. That's another thing too, night sucks so much. That vampire spawning completely killed the little immersion I had left, and by the second night where they started spamming runners and asking for money for revives, I just couldn't bring myself to play anymore. I hope the devs try and improve the concept, making a game actually worth playing, but seeing that the group got into content farming a while ago, I don't have the highest hope for this. Yo, this is editing Marcel here. I went back to play this game for footage after I finished recording the voiceover, and they fixed the neck problem while sitting down, and I actually did a lot better in this game. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but it was still pretty meh. So it's a little bit better than it used to be when I played for the first time, but it's still just it still has a long way to go. I was originally gonna shove it in here as lost potential, but it updated and I replayed it, and honestly, this is kinda good. I can't really make a whole vid on it since the game is kinda easy to explain in short, so I'll keep it in here anyway. Moving on from the spooky wasteland to the spooky forest, the town is no longer as nice as the desert one, kicking us out as we have become exiled, oh my god. Obviously, there's no train tracks here, so we need a new vehicle. Luckily, the town had good enough morals to give us our very own steampunk wagon before sending us to our death. We are given a torch and a few items to keep or burn for fuel. This seems familiar. The items no longer have attributes though, so feel free to chuck all of your items and throw it into the fire, since in the concrete jungle you won't need none of that. If you're done with the game and want to claim your rewards early, you can end it all by breaking your mask. I find it very funny that the game still asks you to pay for a revive even if you do this. It's also a sneak peek for our favorite mechanic, pay to revive. Now with a torch in hand and fully fueled up, you can start the wagon and move ahead. This is the most interesting part because you don't do anything apart from AFK and stare into the darkness until the lights start to stare back, prompting you to stop and explore. You can find diverse things such as windmills, villages, caves, altars, and dungeons. The latter two are more interesting. You can loot windmills, caves, and villages, but the altar can give you buffs, and the dungeons are just that, big underground structures with loot, traps, and enemies. There's also shops that can spawn where you can sell items you find for cash, or spend the cash on some cool items. Most are pretty straightforward, like the potions with different effects and light sources, but then you have stuff like magic wood, which I assume is a big fuel source because the game doesn't explain it. Yo, what's that? Oh, it's magic wood. Cool, and what's it for? Well, it's wood that's magic. No, like, what does it do? It holds magic inside it. I don't know if I'm the weird one here, but my first instinct wouldn't be to burn the object full of magic. You can assume the wagon runs on magic or something. I guess it uses all the magic you can find in a rice bag. The enemy variety is really nice too, since the game takes place in a medieval fantasy world. You have the imposing stone giants that crumble like a house of cards when they get hit by a stick, the fear-inducing flesh hunters I think they were called, who are deadly but blind. The legally distinct Eye of Moron, who upon seeing you have no flame will kinda provide you with some, and the annoying pothead gremlins whose only purpose is to be little bastards as they steal your items unless you whack them over the head. This is the most satisfying thing to do in the game. There's more that I haven't mentioned, but you can go look for them yourself since I don't want to spoil all the fun. That's about the gist of it. You see how far you can go until you die or get an ending. In my first playthrough, I found a dude who would protect me for a night if I paid him to do so, so I accepted and the game just ended. That has to be one of the worst endings I've ever seen in any game. Like, yeah, thanks for watching over me tonight for like 20 bucks. I'm sure this is a proper end to the story as night will never arrive again and I won't wake up for tonight's slumber. As I said, I was gonna originally toss this in lost potential, but I've come around to appreciating it more. The atmosphere is great, the game looks nice, and you can tell the devs actually tried here and I respect them for it. I have a few issues, such as the game being entirely about looting, yet you can only ever hold 4 items. Like, why, bro? Either add an inventory expanding item or just make the limit higher. It's not fun to constantly go back and forth in the dungeon and then go back and forth to the dungeon entrance and your cart. It's like they looked at Lethal Company and were like, ooh yes, I like the detail of the player having to waste their time. No solo player likes it in that game, and I guarantee they don't like it in this one either. Second issue is that the assets in the dungeons are kinda janky. Like the blind monster just starts either flying around the room or he gets stuck if he walks into shelves. And neither are good when you wanna avoid this extremely deadly thing at all costs. This issue is more of a nitpick, but I played after the update and it suddenly started raining. It sounded like light rain, but the visuals made me believe I was in the middle of some kind of hurricane. It hurt my eyes staring into this TV static wannabe texture. I think it would be really cool if there's a storm event that gets more and more intense, but just make it kinder to the eyes. Reminds me a lot of Sea of Thieves, where 95% of the game you do nothing. Is it raining acid? What the hell? Lastly, I'd like to see a dungeon overhaul, making them feel more realistic with diverging paths instead of a straight corridor with the occasional trap monster and loot. After revisiting this one, I can say it's worth playing if you're into this kind of game loop. It has a lot of effort put in it, and it's honestly kinda fun even without friends around. Chapter 3, the fish game. Oh no, oh no. Alright, I think that's enough vehicles for now. Let's take a break and enjoy some relaxing time fishing. This seems like a good spot. Fish. One of the kings in the field of games that don't deserve their fame at all. Up there along with Souls RNG and Pet Sim. I did play this and have a good time when it was just starting to blow up. However, the good time stopped after an hour or two when I quickly realized this game is extremely boring and grindy. I know there's probably still a lot of fish fans out there even after the devs sold out. But this game is just boring, man. I'm willing to debate anyone on this. In this game you have different islands which house different kinds of fish, all with different rarities. You can get better rods, boats, different bait to attract specific fish, and that's about it. All you do after is just tap this button on your screen, reel in for a few seconds and catch a fish you can sell for money. This is all you ever do. Imagine for even a second how easy it is to make this game interesting. You already have all the crazy fish. Imagine that all the islands had different minigames for a start, like ice fishing in a snow island or having to maneuver around coral in the more tropical islands, instead of just stealing the Stardew Valley minigame and using it everywhere. I think the reason this game has people defending it in the first place is because the kids who grew up on Roblox are now old enough to try and make arguments on why the game isn't bad. The problem is that they don't know what you can find outside of Roblox. And I know this is true because a while ago I watched a video from Blue Digit where he tried to defend fish, but he just made ridiculous comparisons to games he probably never played. And he could have played them since one of the games he mentions is Team Fortress 2 and the game is free. I don't say this to throw shade at the guy since he seemed like a chill person. He was being a sweetheart to everyone in the comments. I'm bringing this up because I believe he mentioned he grew on Roblox and it made me realize how people who never tried anything else view Roblox from a completely different perspective. They have no standards. They will let the devs get away with anything and just go, oh well, that's Roblox. But that's not how things need to be. If you grew up on this platform, I beg you to turn it off for just a second and look at other games and you'll see how unacceptable this game would be anywhere else. Especially if you own a computer, you are insanely privileged in the gaming department. Turn off Roblox for a bit, open Steam or itch.io or GameJolt and just look at games, just look at them. You'll see so many mind-blowing games, and even the free ones are incredibly fun. If you want to try free games on Steam, I highly recommend checking out Foco's video where he lists a bunch of amazing free games. You'll see that your standards will shift dramatically after you try an off-Roblox game. So why am I telling you all of this? Because half-baked games like this continue to rise again and again and again, and the only people we can blame is ourselves. If we as a community come together and stop giving attention to the slop, if we can all collectively say no to their face, they won't find success anymore. Do you think Preston Life Savings came out of thin air when he reposted his game for the 9th time? No, the only people we can blame for it are the players. If we walk away from this brain-rotting garbage all over the platform, they will be forced to either improve their games to make them more interesting or start actually making good games from the get-go. You might not seem too confident in yourself, but if you start doing your part and stop supporting the slop games while imagining there's hundreds of people who do the same, we can actually make a change. Go support Trash Game. Go support Pizza Game. Go show some love to Exile. Go have fun on Frontlines. Go dominate people in Project Remix and fighting. Go see the best RPG on Roblox in Block Tales. For every popular slop game, there's at least 10 undiscovered gems. Try and look for them, give them the attention they deserve because they are actually worth your time. Fish is so popular yet so bland that I've been talking about other games until now since I've exhausted the explanation for it in about 20 seconds. I finally caught enough sardines and with a full belly I'm hoping I can tackle this next chapter no problem. Never mind, I'm gonna throw up. If you don't know what these are, I'm really jealous of you. But long story short, they're content farm, quick cash grabs that are presented between different names, but they all play the same. Go in game server, go mundane tasks, something unscary happens. You either win and realize you'll never get this time of your life back, or you lose and you can pay for revives. They all have the exact same game passes littered everywhere. First plastered all over your screen and then littering the play area so much that it becomes hard to focus. These aren't made to be good, they're made to be mass produced and make a quick buck. So what's the deal with them? Well, I'm gonna come clean. I don't want to talk about them more because I've already told you everything you need to know. Instead, I couldn't help but notice the graphics and felt inspired. It's true what they say, you can find inspiration anywhere, the same way that one French artist made a urinal into an art piece. I'm looking at this pile of garbage and thinking how I can mold it into a beautiful piece of art. Roblox is starved for good horror content because most games are really bad with stupid jump scares and uninteresting execution, right? And these games have these great graphics while being able to be mass produced, right? So not only are they easy to replicate, but if a dev with genuine passion tried to go at it using these graphics, I have no doubt that they could make the best horror game on Roblox. Puppet Combo's games all look exactly like this and they have developed a huge fan base, which is proof that you can do the same on Roblox. You can gain popularity the same way Pressure and Doors did if you truly try and make something good. I know horror is one of the hardest genres to get right since not everyone is scared by the same things, but if you have a good understanding of psychological horror, I have no doubt that you can make something just as terrifying as Outlast and From the Darkness here on this funny Lego platform. It would be so easy to make something good, the hard part is the popularity. But if you make something genuinely worth playing, your popularity is gonna skyrocket. So if there's any aspiring devs out there, don't fall into the content farm trap. You'll become irrelevant in a matter of seconds. Instead, focus everything you have into one idea. Make it as big as possible in concept while slowly building it, chipping away at what you plan to implement. If you have an idea that you truly believe in, you can make it happen. But don't fall into this trap field, because you'll see that Marcel was right when he told you that you'd lose more Robux on advertising than you would win from game passes. I think that what I tried to achieve here is spreading a bit of guidance, push the new devs on the right path while pulling people away from the vampires on the platform. Remember, no one can stop slop games from being produced apart from the player base, and if you're a part of that player base, it's time to take action and turn your back on these uninspired, half-baked cash grab games demanding you spend your life on them forever. Go enjoy something with actual effort in it, whether it's on Roblox or off Roblox. Oh, and again, please go check out all the good titles I mentioned. They're the only good things in this video. I can't believe the stupid train game has more players than Exiled. But yeah, I think that's about all I needed to say. Thank you for joining me on this adventure through the dumpsters of Roblox, yeah. I have been Marcel from Michelle. Please go play something good, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.